What's up? What's up? Aztec speech in the building. Y'all already know. Funk Lordz, ATL.
What's going on, family? Pleasure having you here.
Of course.
So let's get straight to it, man. What's the first question we have for you is, we know your name, we know a little bit about your music, but for people out there, we want them to learn about who you are. So let's start with question number one. What is a Chicano MC?
So a Chicano MC to me is someone that could really be versatile with what they write about, how they express themselves. So a lot of times when you think of a Chicano rapper, you think, bald head, the Loke song, talk about, gang banging and low riding, which was cool, it's part
like
of the culture.
A cholo rap, yeah.
Yeah, but exactly. It's too boxy, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like a Chicano MC is more, like I said, more versatile. You can talk about, the things that's going on in your community, not just like how, like being a part of it, but like outside looking in and seeing what the problems are and see how you could try to help it and fix it,
Word up. Okay. So we're going to go straight to what I've written as my last question, which is, well, how does the Chicano movement provide a positive future for our youth?
I think in just in its existence, and I can speak how it influenced me. I didn't know about the Chicano movement until freshman year of college, and that's not because I took a class on it. I looked it up on my own. You know what I'm saying? So especially here in the South, you don't really get taught that. So, but I feel like just in its essence of it being, and you can see, the young kids like in Florida. You know what I mean? They're doing walkouts. They're going to the courthouses and talking to the representatives and telling them, protect us. What can we do with this with all this violence that's going on in schools and everything? I like the person that really comes to my mind is the young Chicano or young Chicana that's bald. I forgot her name, but I think her last name is Gonzalez. But she's out there, expressing herself. And don't care if it offends anyone, whatever. She says, bullshit, this is bullshit, whatever. So, I feel like that's really just the heart of the Chicano movement, of seeing what's wrong with your community, whatever it is, and wanting to fix it. Not just by like rebelling, but rebelling with the vision. You know what I'm saying? We're actually trying to do something with talking to your representatives. You know what I'm saying?
Claro.
So, definitely, the Chicano movement kind of put that blueprint on how to do things, walkouts. Again, talking to your representatives, canvassing. I just recently found out something that Galeo does, which Galeo is the Georgia Association of Latino Elected Officials. They do a lot of canvassing, and canvassing is when you go out to the community and you actually talk, you kind of like knock on doors and you like tell them what's going on with politics and things like that. So I found out that happened a long time ago with the Chicano movement.
All right. Fast. All right, so the next question we have is, who do you make your music for?
In reality, just music in itself is just universal. So I would like to say that mine is too. It's for anyone. But obviously I cater more to, the Chicanos, the Latinos, really anyone who can just relate to the struggle, you know what I mean? Or relate to whatever I'm talking about. Sometimes my song could be political, or sometimes it could just be, just cruising to the car show. So, if it's just like a young Asian kid that likes to go to car shows and likes lowriders, then then it's for him,
Right. That's what's up. That's a great answer. Thank you. Wow. Very cool. Well, how long have you been rhyming, and like, what do you got? When did you get started? How long have you been rhyming? When did you get started? Like, how'd you get on this path?
So the first time I wrote something was like when I was 9, and then it was just like one time, and then in sophomore year of high school it was just like one time. But once I really like started writing was senior year of high school. So I was actually going through like a really nasty breakup. And it was just a way for me to, I guess, get my emotions out. And it was mostly, obviously, it was about her and everything. And so after that, I started noticing, or my friends would tell me, yo, this is actually pretty good. So I started going with it. So I was listening to like a lot of Odd Future and Eminem, you know, old Eminem. So it was more like on a wild type of thing, like, you know, like I'll cut you and da da da, you know, all that stuff. So I saw my first name was Madman J, because I wanted to portray that, you know, that madman, like, yo, he's crazy, bye. So but then once I started knowing more about myself and more about my roots, it started coming together, and I was like, okay, this is the lane I'm gonna go to, you know, with you know, just making it more focused. But yeah.
Word. Okay, so the last question that we have for you is, how far do you want to take your music career, and what is your vision? Like, how do you envision this thing playing out? That we can look back 5, 10 years, maybe 20 years from now and say, yo, this is what I said. Like,
yeah,
you know, what's your vision?
So definitely just wherever my music wants to take me, man. Like, if I'm just gonna stay in the car shows, yeah, that's perfectly cool with me, you know. Just knowing that, like, I go to the car shows and you know, the main host is like, Aztec Beaches in the building, whatever, like, that's just everything to me, even just that. You know, I'm satisfied with just that. But if I'm able to play on bigger, you know, or perform in bigger stages and just, like, you know, be able to reach out to a bigger audience, that would be perfect, you know. My vision in general is just being noticed. You know, this is the only thing that I feel like I'm good at. You know, I'm not, sports not my thing. School is not my thing. So the only time I've been recognized for something that I got a trophy for or any type of certificate was because of, you know, my rapping skills. So it's definitely something that I want to hone in on and definitely, you know, perfect it and in any way that I can. But definitely my vision is just to be noticed, give out that message to, you know, to young people in general, and just feel inspired. You know, there's some people that I seen on YouTube, you know, that's like old school Chicano rappers, like real Chicano rappers that I never heard of before. And I know, like, they may not be super known, but it was able to reach, you know, someone from 2017 and you know, me, and I'm like, you know what, I like what they did, and that inspired me. And even though they weren't, you know, quote unquote successful, they were successful to me. So if I'm able to, you know, 20 years down the line, some young Chicano that wants to get into the music business hears me and is like, yo, I want to do something like that, you know, then that's, you know, that's what it's worth.
Word up. So any shout outs, any, you know, anything you want, anyone you want to shout out, or anything that you want to tell people how they can follow you and find you?
So definitely want to shout out to the Funk Lords. Shout out to all the car clubs in Atlanta and Georgia, because if it wasn't for y'all, I wouldn't have a platform to really express myself. Definitely look me up on Facebook, just Aztec Speech, just my page. On Instagram is Aztec_speech. I also have a SoundCloud that's also Aztec Speech. And be looking out for the return of the Chicano MC that's going to be coming out very soon, that mixtape.
Word. Peace.
Peace.
I know you never heard of a rapper quite chill as this. My style is more rarer than a solar eclipse. Now listen to the words that are coming out my lips. It's almost about that time, that temperature's in its prime. 70 degrees, feel the wind beneath the trees. Homies wearing baseball caps, ready to flirt. And all them pretty girls and wearing the mini skirts. See, summer is a special kind of time. I'm trying to relax or elevate in my mind. That's that really kind of the crime. I'm just going for mine. Now sit back as I kick you some funky rhymes. Yeah, as I kick you some funky rhymes. Yo, verse 2, verse 2.